Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm Stevie Dainjara Tutolo from Gemini Multimedia Limited. Today we're going to talk about accents in conference interpretation. Yeah, there's a lot of accents in the world, and that's what the world is. It's a melting pot. It's a rainbow planet. So it is quite difficult for some colleagues to be able to interpret somebody speaking English with a very weird accent. Sometimes the accent is not that weird, quote unquote. The person might be a native English speaker. I can tell you that I have a lot of challenges interpreting somebody from Ireland. For somebody from London, okay. But Ireland, that was a big problem for me. And I also have colleagues who say that they can't interpret an American who speaks English. The reason is they say they are too fast, they are mumbling, swallowing words, etc., etc. So when we have congresses, fora, big conferences, they're always scared to have an American speaker. So what they do is they always ask or request a colleague to do that on their behalf. And some colleagues are quite good in that. I don't say I can understand all different accents because people still speak with their accents. When a native German, who learned English his own way, is trying to make a speech in English, it could be a disaster for the interpreter. It could be off track. So it's very important for us to have a good mastery of at least foreign accents when they speak English, right? Or when they speak French, because we have to interpret into English. So what do we do about that? Well, some people say you definitely have to travel. You definitely have to live with them so you can understand what they mean. That's true. You have to be with them. You have to know cultural nuances before you understand what they really mean. But what if you don't have so much money and time to travel? You are probably a responsible person. You have a kid. What do? Well, you can still stay wherever you are. If you're in Africa, you can stay in Africa. If you're in Europe, you can simply sit and still get some solution. So the solution is this. You can use YouTube. YouTube is a great source of information for everybody. You can go to any international organization, local organization, particular company, and then get company profiles, speeches, interviews, and try to get as many people as possible. Many people from various nationalities. So that's where the more you listen, the more your subconscious mind will get used to it. In the beginning, it's always difficult. But with time and time and time, you end up deciphering what they are saying. And you're like, oh, that's what he meant. Oh my God. The other method is also to use the same YouTube or maybe the UN library and so on and so forth. I'll put the links down below. But it's good to have a video that has some kind of subtitling. It really helps. So the video is in English and you have subtitle in English. The video is in French and you already have subtitle in French. Or the video is in French, you have subtitles in English. Then you can easily understand what they mean. You can associate a spelling to a word in English. It is also good sometimes to watch those TV series. It's quite useful, especially on VOD or DVD when it is accompanied by subtitling. When you have, for example, some videos, I've been watching a lot of series and movies. I always look for the original subtitles from the movie, from the movie makers, from producers. And I try to get as many subtitles as possible. What I mean is, like, if a movie is in English, for example, I love watching Jason Bourne. And when I watched this Jason Bourne, there was a subtitle file in 7 languages. So sometimes I watch Jason Bourne in speaking in English, which is the original language. And then I get the French subtitle to really understand what they mean because they use a lot of technical words. Or I watch the Jason Bourne dubbed in French. So you listen to the French audio and you look at the English subtitle and so on and so forth. Subtitling is very important for a conference interpreter. Some people also like, apart from YouTube, the UN libraries, you can also listen to radio And you have online radios right now, so you can just, for example, tune to Japanese radio stations, or you maybe tune to, I don't know, Australian radio stations, because I can tell you Australians have a very, very kind of difficult way of speaking English, to be honest. I've been working in many conferences where we have Australian participants and speakers, but it's still quite a challenge. It's very difficult, to be honest. And sometimes you also have Africans who are Anglophones, because I'm a native French. And when I have to interpret into French, those Anglophones for some countries, quite hard. Maybe because of the influence of the native language, the first local language that they speak, or the multitude of African languages that they speak. So it's a reality. Don't ever run away from that. You have to face reality. You need to get used to that. And don't always expect a speaker to be a very good English speaker. Even if they say he's a doctor, he's got a PhD, it's not always the case. That's what it is. Get used to accents. Work on your listening. Work on your ears. Listen more and more and more. Watch TV, news. Go to channels. I use IPTV, which is Internet Protocol Television, so I can switch from African channels to Latin American channels, people speaking English and who are not native. But I try hard, or sometimes I switch to Indian stations when they have news in English, and I try my best to at least start from words, and then sentences, and then expressions. And that's it. You'll be able to interpret what you're saying. That is my humble opinion and advice as usual. I'm Stevie Dainjala Tutolo from Gemini Multimedia Limited. Thank you for watching and expect for more. Bye-bye.